When is the housing market going to crash? This search term is up almost 2,500% on Google. Jeremy Knight, the Knight Group, your favorite Austin realtor. The other search term that's up 350% is how much do I need to spend over to get an offer on a property? Now, a lot of people are writing comments on my channel, and I'm hearing from a lot of people these kind of sentiments. I've seen this in 2008, the crash is coming. I'm gonna go ahead and wait until the market cools off. Or is it time to wait? Or is the market gonna crash? I mean, these are things I'm hearing over and over and over from people, and a lot of it has to do with how crazy our housing market is right now, not just in Austin, but nationally. So I'm gonna go through this article and talk about some of the really key aspects of this article that really stuck out to me. And at the end of this video, we'll answer, is the housing market going to crash, or are we truly in a bubble? And before we go any further, I want to hear from you. Do you really think that the market is going to crash now? Are we in a bubble? Drop that comment below. First thing they talk about is how hot the market is, and they point to a couple key factors which we're seeing. Number one, low inventory. Not as many people are listing because of the state of 2020. What we are seeing is that a lot of people aren't listing because they are a little nervous or scared to put their home on the market at this time. The other thing is that prices have started to escalate so high that some sellers don't even know where to go. And lumber prices and prices for new builds have skyrocketed. That's what we've seen, and I've actually talked about this in a lot of videos. The other thing that they go ahead and talk about is really the interest rates and how low they are and how that's also impacting the market, plus all the work from home. A lot of people would rather just work from home now, and a lot of businesses are allowing that. So that's why we're seeing kind of this really frantic buying in really almost every market. And here in Austin, well, a lot of that has to do with Tesla, Oracle, and a lot of other major companies bringing headquarters here. So it does say that home prices are up 10.4% as of February year over year, which is higher than it was in 2006. I think this is partly too why people are thinking that, oh, I've seen this in '06, so this is just like '06, so we're definitely in a bubble and it's coming soon. And one thing that really stuck out to me in this article was this line right here. And in the most telling indication that the market may be in a bubble, how much over list price should I offer on a home in 2021 was up 350%. He said, I have to admit, I'm worried when I hear that. It does make me concerned. He said, that's the mindset that comes in because that means we're in an auction market. I think that is actually a really fair statement. We are seeing multiple offers on everything. People are putting in way over list price offers. But even Jamie Dimon recently said that almost $1 trillion of money was unspent in 2020 that people kept in their banks instead of spending it that they would have normally spent, which means that people do have money sitting in their banks. Not everybody, but moving on, it also goes on to say that at the start of the month, 42% of homes were selling more than their list price, according to Redfin. This is 16 percentage points higher than had been the same period a year earlier. 42% actually sounds kind of low for me in the Austin area, because out of every offer I've kind of written in the last 5 months, I think only 2 have been at list price, where the rest of them have been well over list price. Is that gonna cause us to see a crash, those type of auction wars? We'll find out, let's keep going. The housing market is more competitive than we've ever seen it, but a couple of indicators are causing us to ask whether we're nearing a peak in terms of how fast demand and prices can grow. Sellers asking prices may be starting to flatten in what so far appears to follow a typical seasonal pattern. I've actually said this several times, that this year prices are gonna get to a certain point and then start to level off. Maybe we're not seeing 19% increases, but we're seeing 3, 4, 5% increases, because a couple of things are gonna happen. More people are going to be getting vaccinated, more people are going to be out and about during the summer, and more people are going to start traveling again. So they're not going to be looking at homes as much as they were maybe 3 or 4 months ago. Now, the other thing that's going to happen, especially in the Austin area, is that those property tax bills are now coming out in like May, June timeframe, which means that a lot of people are going to start really considering selling their homes. And the other reason that we might start to see a flattening is that there's a decline in mortgage purchase applications as a sign that some people are dropping out of the market because there's a lack of affordable homes. This is going to start happening. Affordability is becoming an issue where, maybe not as many people have the down payment or the ability to spend $150,000 out of pocket extra to buy a home. So if these trends continue, she said it could mean that we are not in the mindset of a runaway house price speculation or a housing bubble. As mortgage rates rise, which they are slowing down now, and buyers hit an affordability wall, Norcroft said he expects to see annual home price gains nationally cool to about 3%. But here is the mindset where somebody who's going to wait between now and when that happens, if prices go up another 20%, you are paying 20% more. And how much more over list price do you pay then? And like they just said, we might not be in a bubble, which means that if you're anticipating a crash or this bubble to pop in the next year, what you could buy now is going to be a lot different than what you can buy in the future because it's going to cost you a heck of a lot more. And so this is where I think we get to the heart of this question, which is, are we in a bubble and when is this market going to crash? Any hopes of 2021 bringing in an influx of homes to the market and lessening pressure on prices appear to be dashed for now, according to Ben, president of data at analytics at Black Knight. Noting the drop in new for sale listings in January and February, it will be important to keep a careful eye on both home prices and affordability metrics in the coming months. Home builders are slowly increasing production and new government stimulus could add to that. Now, builders are, from what I'm seeing, at full capacity trying to build, but they are very far backlogged with the amount of actual interest we have in properties. So I don't see builder inventory catching up. And this is in fact, when the last market shift happened in 2008, builders stopped building in Texas and in Austin specifically, which meant that we had a backlog of inventory that should have happened that didn't happen. And we actually rebounded in Texas and in Austin a lot faster than a lot of those cities. In fact, our turn was only about 12%. So if you look at our market now and the demand for our market now in the Austin area, with this being stated that builds are slowly coming together, I think that that's going to be an indication that we don't see a bubble and we don't see that market crash here in Austin. As the economy opens and more Americans are vaccinated, cities could see a rebirth, taking some of the heat out of all of the suburban competition. So will the housing market crash? Unlikely. It will cool, no question, but unlike the great housing crash a decade ago, mortgage underwriting is very strict now, so homeowners can afford the homes they're currently living in. If prices chill or even drop slightly in this market, it will not lead to a foreclosure crisis. Investors are quite heavy in the market as well, given the high demand of rentals. This is exactly confirmation for me. All right, I know you're probably saying, oh, of course the realtor is going to tell you to buy right now. And of course the realtor is going to tell you the market's not crashing. But this is stuff that I've been saying for months now. Go back and look at my other videos. I've been saying that we will see a flattening. We will see a lower rise. And if we did see a huge amount of inventory hit the market, investors are going to be coming to this market. Why? Because major corporations are coming into our market. And this goes for other markets too. Are we in a market crash? Is the bubble happening? No. And is it going to happen soon? No. Again, Jeremy Knight, the Knight Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Thanks for watching. I want to hear from you. What did you think about this video? Am I just off in la la land? Am I crazy? Or do you think that this is true? This market is just not going to stop yet?